Hey, what's up everybody? How you doing? It's me, Robert Anthony, of course, at Living with Rob. If you suffer with stress while you're driving, if you're pulling an RV in specific, or you're driving with a motorhome, welcome to the club. I've got a few things that I want to share with you to help reduce your stress while you're out driving and on the road. So let's get into it. My wife and I were talking, and I struggle while I'm on the road with significant anxiety while I'm driving. And her and I were talking about the psychological reasons for that. And I think it's rooted in a few things. I just want to share that with you first, and then I'll get into the tools here that I use to reduce my stress load. But when I was younger, there were a few times where I had taken my vehicle to Florida, for example, once. And on the way down, the cooling system started to act up, and it was a nightmare getting back without overheating. A couple of different times, once with a trailer that I owned and once with a boat trailer that I owned, the bearings had gotten overheated and seized the wheel up, and that was terrible. As a young child, in a more influential time, there were a couple of instances where with my dad's vehicles, one was a wheel bearing in a trailer that was overloaded and the wheel bearings had gone bad. It had come off the highway while we were driving down the highway, and the spindle was making sparks go everywhere. It was in the middle of the night, and it lit up everything around us while we were dragging it at 60 miles an hour, loaded full of wood. And the tire went across the street, across the highway, the median, and I can't believe it didn't kill somebody. You know, that happened a couple of times with my dad's vehicles. And you know, recently I've being at my parents' house, I was driving around in vehicles other than my mom's. All of the vehicles that my dad was driving around were just on the edge of serious breakdown. You know, so I think growing up as a child, maybe I was exposed to that a lot, and has created this sense of paranoia. With that being said, there are some things and steps that you can take to reduce your anxiety and keep yourself safe while you're out there. And I just want to share with you a few of the rather inexpensive tools. There's not even $500 worth of stuff here, maybe not even $300 worth of stuff, but boy does, well, not including this, but boy does it make life easier. So let's talk about some of the things that I use to keep myself safe while I'm out on the road. The first of which is going to be a way to keep your tires inflated. This is an amazing mini air compressor. I honestly just can't understand how this thing actually can work and pump up my tires, but it's from a company called Keep Up. It's a USB charged device. But at the same time, should you need it, it does come with your traditional cigarette lighter adapter. It has quite a bit more power if you're using the cigarette lighter adapter, and this cord is quite long. It's all automatic. You can set it. It handles bike tires, vehicle tires, small tool tires like wheelbarrows. There's settings for all of those. You just turn it on. Again, you can run it off of a USB. It will charge devices if you need it to charge a device in an emergency, as well as it even has a light on it that will flash or act as a flashlight for you. This is a great tool. This fits easily in my armrest in the truck. This wasn't cheap. It was about $80, but compared to, I've gone through 3 of the cheap $30 ones. I don't want them to fail while I'm out on the road. This had really high ratings on Amazon. So a way to inflate my tires is critical. Not only that, I can actually plug it in and check the PSI, and if it needs to be charged, fine. It's almost as fast as pulling out the standard air pressure checker to check the air. So that's a good one. So the next along those lines, USB, is this device. This is from Butcher, I think. This is a USB charged battery jumper. So when you buy it, you get the jumper, the power, the cables. I thought that there was no way that one of these could actually charge a vehicle or charge a battery, hit a battery with enough juice that it would start the vehicle. You would not believe the juice behind this thing. Now, it's been a while since I bought it. I think this particular model is discontinued, but they still make them. It's unbelievable. The starting current on this is 400 amps. The peak current, when it's actually being used, is 800 amps. So if you have a 400 to 600 or 800 cranking amp battery, this is going to do the job. Really, it's just real simple. You just plug this in, this peels back. You plug this in, hook it onto your battery, plug it together, and go start your vehicle. Once you power it on, of course. But this too, you can charge USB devices in a pinch if you need to. And it also has a blinking light or a battery or a flashlight that blinks. This sits in my glove box, holds a charge for what seems like forever. This is another great tool, so you don't have to be looking for jumper cables, and you don't have to have a second person. You want one of these. This is something that I love. This is an infrared thermometer, laser grip 1080 by ETC City. This is a very simple device to use, and all this does is shoots out a laser, and you can check your temperature. Now, you can check your temperature in your refrigerator, you can check the top of your engine, you can check your radiator. What I use this for is I use this to check my wheel bearings in specific on my trailer. Because again, I think I've been traumatized as a child and as a young adult, and having my own trailers have wheels come off. You have to do regular maintenance on your trailer bearings. They need to be repacked. I have the Dexter Easy Lube. I don't trust that. If I need to add a little bit of grease because they're running a little bit hot, I can do that through the Easy Lube. But once a year, my wheels come completely off. I repack the bearings, inspect them, make everything's going to be great, check them with grease. But while I'm out on the road, I will drive for a bit, and I'll establish a baseline. And what I found when I'm checking the temperature on these, I found that in establishing the baseline, I'll be about 20 to 25 degrees above what the ambient temperature is out if I'm in a good place. Now, that's not necessarily going to be the case for you, but this device, all I do is like every gas station stop, I come out just to make sure, and while it's filling up, going around the trailer, and I'm checking at the brake hub to see what the temperatures are. And I'll immediately know, I'll be able to isolate and immediately know if one of those is overheating, that I have a problem. And at that moment, I'll actually be able to fix that problem. This is a great device. I recommend these highly. They're not expensive. I can't remember what I paid, but I will, in the description, give you a link to all of the devices that I've shown you in here, so that if you want to go get those yourself, you could. But this really reduces my level of anxiety as it relates to, I'm gonna lose a wheel. As we're on that, and as we're talking about that, let's kind of go in a linear fashion. One of the things that I invested in is tire pressure and temperature sensor monitors. This is an moderately expensive device. These Winnebago Micro Mini 2108 DS products, the 2108 series, come pre-wired for the Lippert tire link. I just didn't want to do that one. It's really expensive. I found one on Amazon. I think it was 120, 150 bucks, maybe. Again, I'll put a link in the description below, but really all it is you just see right here, it's these little things that take the place of your air caps. You put those on, and then they send a reading up to a screen in the truck. It's Bluetooth enabled. They talk back and forth via Bluetooth or via a wireless connection. Or this unit in the truck lets me know not only what my temperature tire pressure is, also if it's exceeding safe temperature levels. And you can program this to give you an alarm when tire pressure gets much too low or much too high. It will also send you an alarm on program numbers that you put in there that will let you know whether or not it's getting very, very hot. So this is a great tool. You can't see the tires back here. I have a 4-axle trailer, and so I wouldn't know, like when we had a tire blowout near London, Kentucky 2 months ago. I didn't know. We just happened to stop for a sandwich, and Joelle said, "Hey, the tire's flat. What's going on?" So, you could drive on that for a long time and shred your tire up. Now, I couldn't fix that tire. It didn't have a nail in it. It was sidewall had gone defective. The Goodyear tire had gone bad. That's a great way to get a real peace of mind on what's going on back here. And if they're starting to heat up and you don't have a gun, if your brakes are seizing up and it's starting to heat up, it's going to transfer that temperature out to the tires, and you're going to know that you got a problem back there. The alarm will go off, and you'll be able to, on the line of when you've got to lift the vehicle up. Now, the Toyota Tundra, most of the Toyota trucks, the Sequoias and the Tundras, they come with the standard Toyota bottle jack that goes up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And that's okay. But for me personally, I want to have something that I can lift safely and keep it lifted with a nice stable base. Those vehicle jacks are okay, but it's also hard to get out. So because I do this and I'm living in this full time, I wanted to get something that was more robust. Now, I was going to bring my 3-ton floor jack. I've got a 3-ton professional floor jack, but that took up a ton of space in the back end of the truck, and it was becoming very difficult for me to figure out how I was going to travel with that. Enter the Unijack 6,000 pound jack. This is amazing. This jack is heavy. It's a bottle jack that has a 21-inch lift. That's actually an inch higher than my 3-ton floor jack. This baby lifts up to total of 21 inches high. Now, I have actually had to use it to jack up my trailer. With the trailer sits 21 inches at the frame, and so I have to put a 4x4 underneath it to get it to go up. But this thing, it goes up here. There's a pin here. This goes up to its maximum level right there. And then this right here, as you raise the bottle jack to lift it up, this locks in place. So if the jack fails, this is going to catch it. Nothing's coming down. This is the jack that I'm going to use as a matter of safety, and it doesn't take up a big footprint, but again, it is a robust, heavy-duty jack. This is a great addition. I also travel with my 3-ton SUV floor jacks. I'll put a picture of those right here. They're way in the front of the truck. They only come out in the gravest emergency or when I'm actually working underneath the truck. Now, what those jacks do is they allow me to, if I'm going to do my brakes, for example, while I'm out on the road, I can lift the truck up, put those SUV jacks under there, set it down, and I'm good to go. But this jack is so much more secure and safe than your standard bottle jack. I also travel with my Dewalt brushless impact wrench. Now, this is not an impact driver. This is an impact wrench. This is what I use to take off my lug nuts, makes the job really fast. These are not cheap. These are about 300 bucks, but I'll have it for the rest of my life. It's a Dewalt, it's 4 amp hours, tons of torque. I think the taking off torque is 400 pounds per square inch, maybe, might be 6. But it takes everything off. So I use this while I'm repairing the vehicle, but this is how I get my lug nuts off real quick. Next up, I have a cousin and a son, my Marine son, and I have a cousin that is an avid woodsman, an avid hunter. And the next series of things that you're going to see me get out were things that he told me to get because I go into the woods frequently. And these have come in handy more than I care to admit. So this is a Rhino USA portable shovel. So this opens up, this screws down, this comes down, locks into place, and it just is a great shovel. This locks in, just like this. You screw this down, just like that, and now you have a heavy-duty Army-style shovel. It has a serrated edge. If you need to cut something with it, actually will work as a saw. I was doing some drone work in Florida for a company, and I got stuck back in the Florida swamps, and I actually had to pull this out and dig myself out. If I hadn't had this, I was 25 miles back in. Nobody would have found me. I mean, I had cell service, but all of the items that I'm going to show you now, they're always with me on the vehicle. Always. They go in my Roam Adventure box that's mounted to the roof rack on top of the vehicle. There was one time where Joelle and I were way deep in the woods, and I wish to heck that I had had this. This is a Dewalt 12-inch cordless chainsaw. Plenty more than enough to cut through even a modest sized branch, but small enough to fit in my recovery box. This was a couple $100. If we ever get out somewhere, not only can we use this for cutting firewood to have campfires, but if we ever get somewhere like we were then, where there was a tree hanging across the road that stopped us from getting to our final destination, I can cut it up and get it out of the way. The other thing that's nice about this is if we do get somewhere like that when we were in the Smokies and a tree comes down overnight, which is not unreasonable, we're not going to be stuck. We can cut it out. It's just really great. Speaking of being in the backwoods and in the mud, this is something that, again, my cousin said that I should get. They're muddy because I had to use them. These are what's called, what I know them as recovery boards. What these are, and these go in the back of the truck bed, these are for when you get stuck in the snow or you get stuck in the mud. If you get stuck somewhere, they have these high, heavy-duty, ridged knobs. You jam these under each of your wheels. You dig a little hole underneath the wheel so you can get them down in there. And you jam these underneath there, and you either back out or pull forward. They work miracles on getting you out. A little beat up. I actually got stuck in the mud at my mom's house because her yard was so soft when I was getting ready to leave, and I had to get them out. It's the only way I was getting out. So the recovery boards are your first option. Inexpensive, great peace of mind to have, not too heavy, quite sturdy. However, if those don't work, so if you end up getting stuck and the recovery boards don't help you to get out, the next step is a winch. Some way to really pull yourself out is what you want to be able to do. So that's why you see in the front here, you've got, this is what's called a come-along or a handheld winch. This has a 20-foot length on it. If you were ever stuck off of the ditch, off in a ditch on the side of the expressway, this isn't going to help you. But if you're out in the wilderness, you can pull this out. And then I have these straps. So these recovery straps, I have 3 total. This would wrap around a tree, for example. And then you would weave others in amongst it. This is quite long. This one's very long. But generally 3 straps is good, including the winch. So if you ever got stuck in the mud, in the forest, or in the snow in the forest, as long as you have something to wrap that around, you can winch yourself out. If, however, let's say you're on the side of the expressway, you could hook this winch to the back end of a heavy-duty vehicle like my truck, and you could winch it out. I'm going to give you a piece of advice here and a word of caution. Somebody had actually used one of these come-alongs and hooked it on the Reese hitch, like what I have over here, that's up in the upward position, like that. It put so much force on the hitch that while they were trying to winch the vehicle out, it snapped the top of the hitch off, flew back, hit the driver and the vehicle that was stuck in the head and killed him. So if you're going to hook these on the back of a vehicle, there are only one of 2 ways that you should be doing that. One is going to be underneath the vehicle, and I think every vehicle has these. There are anchor points that are made to be pulled on. The second way would be if you have a Reese-style hitch that inserts in to that sleeve that has the hook molded and welded as part of the hitch on the bottom. That's what that hook is for, is to pull it out. But you should never, ever try to winch yourself out or to pull out somebody that has been stuck off of that Reese hitch. There's so much force, there's going to be such a drag on it, you'll snap off the weld and it'll fly back and potentially kill somebody, like what my cousin had shown to me. So these are some of the things that I have added to my arsenal to make it so that I'm less stressed. Not very expensive, but it is a significant and healthy peace of mind that allows me to be out in the middle of nowhere and be able to lift my vehicle up, change a spare tire. I actually have tire plugging equipment. If I need to, I can actually fix my own tire. I have a spare in this as well, but I can fix my own tire should I need to. I have skill to be able to do that. But if you don't, these are a few of the things that you can invest in that will make your life significantly safer. In fact, my mom, who is a single woman now that my dad has passed away, she likes to go up north in the snow, and I insisted that she actually bought one of these because her cheapy one crapped out. But she bought one of these, and I actually convinced her to buy a set of these recovery boards because she's been stuck in the snow a couple of different times and had to call a tow truck. So not that the tow truck is bad, and I have roadside assistance too, but if you can get yourself like that safely out with a recovery board, that's the way to do it. So that's going to be about it. I hope that you found this video helpful and that it's useful. If you suffer with the anxiety and the stress of going out there, and I'm right now, I am miles away from society. So if anything ever happened to me while I'm out here, I would need to be able to take care of myself. These are a few of the things that I have that help make my life a little less stressful while I'm out on the road. If you haven't already, if you're not part of our subscriber base, if you would like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. When you hit the bell notification, that lets you know that I've posted another video in my regular series. You're going to get all kinds of videos that are going to help you and inspire you. I appreciate it if you leave a comment in the comment section below. And that's really, really great. Love hearing from you guys. It really means a lot to me. And I get a lot of good ideas, frankly. When you send me comments, 5 or 6 of the most recent videos have come from ideas that I've gotten from you guys out there as the subscribers and the people that are viewing the videos. Love it. Just love it. So thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Rob out.